Alright, Sage Wanderer coming at you from my undisclosed location. Sorry about the mask, you're just going to have to get used to it. I got recognized one too many times. See my previous video. So, remember the 5th of November. Now, I've quoted this saying in a previous video, and I was accused then of quoting the movie V for Vendetta, when in fact I was just quoting an ancient English poem about remembering what Guy Fawkes did all those hundreds of years ago. And I've never seen the V for Vendetta movie. It's just not my bag. So I decided to watch the movie. I was actually quite shocked at the correlation between the movie and a lot of what's going on with Antifa. So, I wanted to talk briefly about how one might learn something from this movie if you've watched it. I find very interesting that the character V, he killed most of his enemies with poison. So, this poison method is often called the weapon of the coward. That it's the coward's weapon is poison. And it got me thinking about what I do know about Antifa. If Antifa has a job, most of them are employed in food service. You know, it's the person down at the Starbucks. It's the person, well, this will probably be the name of this video. Welcome to our restaurant. My name is Antifa. Can I take your order? So these are the people handling your food. There's another movie that I found quite disturbing called The Invitation. In this movie, it's about a cult, to me, not dissimilar from Antifa, that essentially, it goes back to this whole thing of controlling the population control. And in that movie, though, they were people that thought death was better than life, and so they invited people over to their home for dinner, and then they murdered them through poison. That particular story, that movie was about a particular poisoning that didn't go as planned. So there was a lot of violence also in that movie. But this is not, I'm not basing this on anything other than there seems to be a connection to Antifa and V for Vendetta, and that V for Vendetta's main tool was poison. So I won't eat out maybe ever again. Yeah, I have no problem cooking for myself. And so, you could be in danger from your own food service handlers now, as this thing starts to grow legs and become something bigger. So also, another correlation in this movie is the character Evie, which is the female character in Vendetta, V for Vendetta. In this, we witness her transformation from a normal person into a revolutionary. And part of her transformation is when he makes her think she's been captured by the totalitarian government and is being kept in a cell, when in fact it's V who's doing this to her. And Evie bears a lot of resemblance, and her transformation is very similar to my friend in Antifa, who I may from now on, since I can't use her real name, I'm still trying to protect her. I hope she finds her sanity and comes back to reality and leaves these people. But her transformation was very similar to the transformation that Evie went through. I think in future videos, when I refer to her, I will start calling her Evie. But one of the interesting things was the shaving of her head. She had the character Evie had this beautiful long hair in the Vendetta movie. And then at the end, she was, had it shaved her head. And this was the most, other than what she was saying, my friend who joined Antifa, this was the biggest transformation that she went through, is that she had this long, beautiful hair that caught everyone's eye, and everyone always commented on her hair. And that's the first thing I noticed when she showed up, is that she shaved all her hair off. And, when I asked her about it, She gave me some social justice warrior mumbo jumbo, but then ultimately she said, look, it just gets in the way of my respirator, it gets in the way of my helmet when I'm out with Antifa. And, we're at war, so we have to start acting like we're warriors, and that is why she cut her hair off, so that she could be ready for war. So there's a lot of correlations between V for Vendetta. One thing I'd like to point out is the method of attack. First thing he does is destroy a monument with explosives, like a cultural monument. And then, there's a series of poisonings, and then ultimately one final explosion where he takes out everything. So I suspect that will be the kind of thing we're seeing, and that, mass poisonings. I grew up in a time when nothing had any kind of protection as far as like bottles of medicine, food. You could just open up any bottle in the store and smell it. Didn't have all of this like tamper resistance. And then a few crazy people poisoned Tylenol when I was a young man, and everyone was afraid to buy anything because they were tampering with it. So this is within the realm of possibility for people that are just trying to lash out at society, is to use poison. So I personally, if I didn't peel it, if I didn't uncan it myself, with the can opener or whatever, I'm not going to be eating out of the bulk food sections at the grocery store anymore, and I won't be eating out. And, hopefully this is all going to boil down to nothing. But I will say this, they are zeroing in on me, and I intend to be as evasive as water. I'm going to be like trying to nail Jell-O to the wall. So good luck. All right. God save the Republic.